FGW podcast, yeah, the stakes get higher. She is Fran, he is Mr. G, setting rings on fire.
Together they are Fran G. Watch the belt tip.
All right. Welcome back to the FGW podcast. This is your boy, Mr. G, and joining me today is my lovely co-host,
Miss Frani Fran.
Absolutely. So we're here to talk about Clash in Italy.
Yep.
But before we even get to that, it's been some interesting developments since the last time we came to you guys. Things such as Brock Lesnar is back
Yes, he is. With a vengeance.
with a vengeance.
Yeah,
Came back, attacked Femi from behind,
sure did.
hit him with 4 F5s.
4.
4. 1, 2, 3, 4
Four.
F5.
4 F5s.
Like,
Rough.
that was personal. You know what I mean?
He-
Pretty personal, man.
It did. It felt like he was super upset of how things went down at the was it WrestleMania? Yeah, it was WrestleMania.
Yeah.
That was their last fight, and then he retired him.
Yep.
He put his gloves out and everything. He took his boots and everything. Brock said, "I'm done."
Went back home.
Coward. Cried.
That's right. Back to Saskatchewan or wherever the hell he lives.
Not Saskatchewan. I thought he lives in. Well, he's from Minnesota.
Right. But I think he's in Canada now.
Canada, eh?
Canada.
Oh, shout out to Canada.
Shout out to Canada. So, yeah. So, I mean, that's been a pretty big development.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Over on SmackDown, we have Danhausen still trying to clone himself,
Just doing Danhausen shenanigans.
literally shutting down the building's electricity.
Not the power outage last week.
Like, man, it's some interesting stuff going on in the
Some real interesting stuff.
world of WWE, right?
Yes, it is.
Jacob Fatu and Roman,
Oh,
having
right.
their back and forth, and now, it's tribal combat, and the winner's gonna be declared the tribal chief as well as the world heavyweight champion. And Roman made it pretty clear, like, if Jacob loses, not only does he have to acknowledge Roman, but he has to serve him, as he said. So
Is this is the tribal thing that's happening at the Clash in Italy, right?
that's it.
So this is the tribal
Combat.
combat.
Yep.
Okay.
So we'll get into all that.
Mm-hmm.
So first off, I think let's start with Cody Rhodes versus Gunther, because I believe that could be the first match
Yeah.
that's going to be live on the 4-letter cable channel that they're not paying me to say. So screw it.
For the first hour, and then it switches to the Ocho version.
The app. That's right.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Cody and Gunther. So far, let's start off with this. What do you think of the build? And then we'll get into our predictions after that.
I think the build has been lame, but I'm pretty critical. I also think it's lame because we all know that the whole Gunther just felt like he just randomly decided to attack Cody one day, and then this has just become a feud. So what's the reason why he's really upset? I don't know. He just keeps getting upset and keeps showing up. So I don't know. It just feels very of course it's all inauthentic, but it just doesn't feel like they put a lot of thought into the reasons as to why Gunther and Cody are clashing in Italy. Unintended.
So I would have a different perspective, and I would only say this because remember, Paul Heyman owed Gunther a favor. And remember when he originally brought out the contract a couple weeks ago, he said, here is a contract for a WWE Championship match against Cody Rhodes. And he told Cody Rhodes that it was his job then to get Gunther to sign said contract, which has still not been signed damn near a month later. So that was about 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago. So
yeah.
that's been the thing. So essentially, Paul Heyman delivered a WWE Championship match to Gunther, and Gunther's like, that's the reason why he's attacking Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
Like, he's a champion, he wants his championship.
I guess. That's a simple feud there. You have the championship and I want it.
Yeah.
Hence every fight in the
Pretty
WWE.
much. But think about it. Isn't that what you want? You want
Yes.
gunning for the championship?
Yeah.
There's only so many old dudes that Gunther could choke out.
He can't.
He's going to retire, but else he needs something else besides choke out a old dude over here.
He needs some young, fresh meat to fight. He needs to go after the QB1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay. All right.
So I guess you can go first on this one.
All right.
How do you see this one playing out?
I think that Gunther's going to win. because he's in Europe. Why not? I mean, to me, again, I'm not really bought into the storyline. So for me, it's like, okay, just filler match at this point. But that's because that's how I feel about Cody Rhodes right now. He's just there. QB1, as everybody says, but he's overhyped. He's overhyped. We get other superstars that are much more entertaining that we want to see right now. Cody's season is dying down. He needs to, maybe think about some other things to his more depth to his character to keep us entertained long term.
Yeah, that's a fair assessment. I mean, honestly, like I'm looking at it, like go digging deeper into that. Like, could a potential character change be good for him? Could a potential like him being a bad guy, as some might call it, a heel turn? Could that potentially work for Cody Rhodes? Maybe turn bad.
I don't know. Maybe.
Would he be more interesting to you? I mean, what if Cody creates his own little faction? His own version of the bloodline, if you will. Maybe not necessarily what people from his family.
Could it be
saying like,
the Cody Crybabies, the Cody and the Cody Crybabies, like The Rock called him, his fans.
He could be. There's plenty of them.
He's popular. Don't get me wrong. I like Cody Rhodes. I think that he's like the quintessential wrestler. When you think about WWE wrestlers, like the blonde superstar, ripped American, loving, good guy. Like, yeah, they have to have one of those every generation. So he's this generation's that. I know enough about wrestling to say that, but I do think that his character lacks depth to it. So they need to figure out a way to make him either have more substance as a character, or he needs to have a character change, because you can't be QB1, like the guy, all the golden boy forever. Like, it's not entertaining after a while. It's only entertaining for a little bit during your rise, and then once you're champion, then and your reign is done, you got to figure out something else to do. So apparently, get beat up by Gunther is what he's going to do with himself. That's my thoughts on it. What about you, Mr. G? What do you think is going to happen?
So originally I went into this thinking Gunther would win, but the more and more I keep thinking about it, I think I see Cody retaining now.
Really?
Yeah, I think I do. Yeah. I mean, I think your points are valid. I mean, especially the part about it being overseas. I mean, hell, the last time Cody Rhodes lost the WWE Championship, it was overseas to Drew McIntyre. Remember on that SmackDown?
That's right.
So it's totally possible, but I don't know. I'm just like, and honestly, I think moving the championship to Gunther would probably be the right move, and I'll tell you why. Because I can lay it out. I can lay out a scenario here where it's like Gunther wins the championship. He goes and beats Cody again at what's the next one? Saudi Arabia, Night of Champions.
Night of Champions, yeah.
It goes beats him there, and then we'll set up a potential SummerSlam matchup with Gunther and Brock Lesnar, where Gunther goes and Brock Lesnar gets one last shot at the title, and Gunther retires him.
Because that's what he does. It's a career killer. Right?
I can see that path being laid out, and and it totally works for me.
Yeah, that's a valid branch off. Yeah, I give you that. Yeah, that's valid.
If that's the way they want to go, because I'm just sitting there going and we'll talk about Oba and Brock in a bit, so I don't want to give away too much of what I want to say, but I could totally see that being the path playing out. Yeah. The other path I could just see is Cody Rhodes just continuing to be Cody Rhodes and keeping along as champion and
keep trucking as golden boy QB number 1 for as long as they're gonna milk this story until people finally stop paying attention to it, I guess. So
like you say, he's easy to find, hard to beat.
That's right. He also claims he has a alter ego named Raheem, I believe.
Yeah, Raheem.
I think Oba Femi did some interview somewhere too, and he was talking about you forgot about another black WWE wrestler. His name is Raheem. Wait a minute. Let's not get too carried away with this fake stereotype just because he's married to a black woman.
Absolutely. So, anything more on that?
No, I think we said enough. I mean, we'll see what happens with this. We'll see what they do. I guess I can't really say either way. I think that it makes sense for Gunther to win, but we'll see what they do. See what the storyline got for us for the next season.
All right, so moving on to the next match, I think more than likely will probably be Rhea Ripley versus Jade Cargill for the WWE Women's World Championship.
That's right.
Well, sorry, for WWE Women's Championship, actually, yes. So you want me to go first this time?
Yeah, tell me, Mr. G, what do you think is going to happen between your girls here? He loves some Rhea Ripley. Okay, that she's the GOAT. So. What do you think is going to happen?
Yeah, I think Rhea's going to kick Jade's ass.
That's right.
I mean, pretty simple. I don't see any way that Jade gets this championship back. I think Rhea goes and continues to dominate.
Okay.
And continues to be mommy. Mommy's always on top. That's all I got to say.
Okay. All right. Rhea loving Mr. G. Okay. But I do agree. I think Rhea's going to win. I mean, yeah, she needs to win, period. There's not much to say there. Like, they have had this thing for a while. They fought for a while off and on. They've done like triple threat matches and other things, but they haven't had a one-on-one like this. So this should be interesting to see. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's a formidable opponent, but Rhea's going to win.
Just curious. So after Rhea gets by Jade, which I think will happen, I think we both agree with that'll happen. Who's the next logical opponent you see for her on SmackDown?
For Rhea?
Yeah.
It's a really good question.
Like, do you think it's too early to push, say, a JC Jane up to that level of getting the championship match?
I personally think yes, because they've already skyrocketed Oba. They see what happens when you skyrocket a champion without building up their story enough. Stephanie Vaquer, that backfired, right? They just threw her all the way to the tippy top, but they didn't build up anything about her character. So then now people are just like, yeah, we like her because she's cool, but we don't know nothing about her. So I think that JC was really good in NXT because she was there forever. So y'all all knew about JC and how she was just like the mean girl and da 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 da. Like, her character was established. They needed to establish her. Nobody knows her in WWE enough. They're just like, who is this chick with these two minions and one from Alabaska with an accent? So I think that she needs more time to build up her character if they're going to make her sustainable, because they see what happens when you skyrocket somebody without they fizzle out fast. And that's a harsh criticism of someone I do like. I like Stephanie Vaquer a lot, but I do think that was a mistake in the character development and the game planning. So if they're smart, they would not do that again. So somebody else in the locker room who's ready to fight Rhea Ripley, who's already on the roster and been on the roster for a while, not going to happen because they're not setting it up at all. But I would love to see them do something with Chelsea Green again. Like, she is awesome when she's going for a championship. And she can actually wrestle. She's low-key a good wrestler. You just have to, she would get beat by Rhea, but I think it would be an interesting storyline because they're polar opposite.
Okay.
What about you? What do you think?
So I hear what you're saying about Stephanie.
Yeah.
Having a rocket, but at the same time, I'm not necessarily saying put the championship on JC Jane. I'm more so saying giving her a championship match, and especially because you're dealing with the entire Fatal Influence. You know what I mean? It's not just, or is it Fatal or Fatal Attraction?
Fatal Influence.
Fatal Influence. Okay. So you're dealing with all three. So you always have that threat of a 3-on-1, and maybe there's that danger that that you can get. When you feel like maybe there's a possibility, Rhea could be taken down. I mean, we just saw them beat Rhea, Charlotte, and Alexa in a 6-woman tag match.
I guess you're right.
So, and again, I'm not saying JC Jane, will beat Rhea, but I think it would be interesting. I think it would be an interesting match. I mean, we actually saw them fight a couple weeks ago, and it was actually a pretty compelling match. I think it was JC Jane's first night on SmackDown, actually, and I was pretty impressed. And remember, JC Jane was booed out the wazoo that night. So, crowd already doesn't like her, which is great because you know what? Whether you're cheering somebody or booing somebody, the worst thing that can happen to someone is apathy when nobody cares about you. And clearly people care about JC Jane.
Yeah.
And the character. They may not know why they want to boo her, but they want to boo this woman. And I'm like, you know what? I'm all about a whole match where you're going to have a clearly defined baby face, which is Rhea Ripley, people want to cheer, versus a clearly defined heel, which is JC Jane, who somebody you want to boo.
Yeah.
I think those two could work magic again.
Okay. Valid point. I see what you're saying.
It's just a thought.
It's a good thought. I see what you're saying.
Absolutely.
I see what you're saying. I mean, mainly because, yeah.
I'm not trying to. I'm just. That's just how I look at it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying I'm right or anything. I'm just saying literally like that's just.
I appreciate your perspective.
Yeah.
What else do you have to say about the Jade and the Rhea Ripley match? I'm over Jade and her little.
Or baddies.
They ain't no baddies. Jade and them two.
Baddies.
They're Jade and them two. They ain't Jade and the baddies. It's Jade and them two. Not B-Fab. I literally could not last week. I think it was SmackDown, right? Yeah, she's a SmackDown wrestler. Yes. Yeah. Where she tried to push somebody up out the ring and just looked like she was like a stunt double from a bad Tubi movie. Just terrible.
By the way, not necessarily anything about this match in particular, but I'm just, as we were talking, I was thinking about, say, future SummerSlam opponent, and I could totally see why they're friends right now, or frenemies, right? Not even frenemies. They're trying to get along. I could absolutely see Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley at SummerSlam for the championship.
No, that would be great.
And I'm not saying like Alexa and Charlotte will break up, or maybe it comes to a point where they're like, you know how like Rhea and Io, they didn't necessarily have a breakup. It was just like, hey, I'm about to go my separate way. You're on SmackDown, you'll be here on Raw. I can see something similar with Charlotte and Alexa, where instead of having the whole like somebody's turning their back on them, they were just like, hey, we're still friends, but we're gonna go do our own things. And then this is when Charlotte finally gets reintroduced back to the single
Singles.
title picture, and
Yeah,
there's a SummerSlam match, and that's a pretty big matchup. You've seen it at WrestleMania,
that's right.
but
That's right.
this is a whole new Charlotte Flair and a whole new Rhea Ripley.
It sure is.
So
It sure is.
absolutely.
Okay.
All right. So let's move on to Obafemi versus Brock Lesnar. Part dos.
All right. Well, Mr. G, you kick it off with this one. What are your thoughts on the build-up to this match?
Okay. So I liked how they had Brock Lesnar basically give like a sports story on what happened, and what happened at WrestleMania. He said basically Oba kicked my ass. And,
Facts.
And like he was like, he basically felt like, he thought that was it, which is why he, put his gloves down and everything in the middle of the ring, because he thought he was done. And he basically went home and he realized he didn't want to go out like that, and so he came back and fight Oba last week
4 times. Four times.
4 times. So I and I think that's pretty relatable for anybody. I mean, like anybody who got their ass kicked is gonna naturally want to come get their comeuppance, right? Or sorry, not comeuppance. They want to come back and get their get back.
Get their licks back.
Get their lick back. All this young vernacular I'm trying
That's
to say.
right.
So yeah, it's totally relatable. I get it. While seeing them do the whole retirement thing, it was pretty cool at WrestleMania. Like I have no problem with the way they came back with it, and I'm very much so looking forward to this rematch. They call it the biggest rematch of all time. Hyperbole, but
little bit of a stretch.
You have to sell a match. So
really selling it
right now. It's gonna be the biggest rematch until guess what? The next big rematch.
Right. Undisputed, disputed every week. Yeah,
exactly. So, what about you? What do you think about this? First out, like Brock and where he came back.
I thought it was great, especially because like the Oba was doing his little pose, light behind him, like the light all behind him, like he was doing his thing, and then all of a sudden, Brock comes up behind him and just starts, and then F5s him eventually. It was a great way for him to come back and show his attempt at asserting dominance. But I still think that Obafemi's gonna whip his ass. And I think that's gonna be it again for Brock. I don't know. I just if Obafemi loses, then they're gonna have to give me some. It's gonna have to be real magical on this match, because even though he threw him and we've never seen Obafemi fall like that, because Brock F5'd him 4 times and it looked like it hurt every time because his big ass fell down, his big ass bounced back up. So even though we haven't seen that before, it's still going to take a lot for somebody to beat somebody like Obafemi, because Brock Lesnar is old, like really old. Like how old is he? Do you know how old Brock is? He's and certain people age in dog years around here, and his people may be one of them. I don't know. So yeah, it's wild. I just think that Obafemi has to continue to be the dominant force on the show, and so the only way for him to do that is to keep beating everybody. He can't lose.
What would you think about Oba's performance on Raw? Like, when he confronted Paul Heyman.
Oh, that was dope. He like cornered him and like pinned him and everything like that. Oh my gosh, it was great. Like for being someone who was a shock put thrower, right? Track and field guy. Like he was like in college and doing his thing, to becoming a real good actor in WWE. That's a big stretch. That's a big change in direction and trajectory. And he's really good at acting. Like he sold it. Like I was like, oh my, Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman was scared too. He's like, I'm just a messenger.
Yeah. He said, last time I was trying to beat you. This time, tell Brock I'm trying to kill him. I said, wow. I mean, pretty big of a stretch. I'm pretty sure we're not about to see a live murder this weekend, but
we're not.
But we get the point he was getting across. Basically, he's coming for it all.
Yes.
So, and with that, let's get to our prediction for this match.
Yes.
Oba versus Brock. Who you got?
Oba.
All right.
Oh, but I jumped the gun earlier and explained that there's no way that he can lose because in my mind he has to be the dominant force in WWE. So to do so, he has to continue to be undisputed. So whatever, it may be a stretch in a fantasy, but that's what I'm gonna say. He's gonna win.
Okay. I think I'm gonna go the other way. I think I'm picking Brock Lesnar to win this match.
Okay.
I think they're gonna try to get a trilogy out of this feud, in my opinion. And
Yeah.
keep mentioning the upcoming Saudi Arabia show,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, so because if we got 1,000 pay-per-views and
Yeah.
with the the budget live, it's like I called Saturday Night
PLEs.
Events, you know what I mean? So they got all these shows they gotta sell.
Oh, the LEs.
So, and Saudi Arabia's paying a lot of money for these shows.
Yeah, they want to see Brock.
So I'm gonna go on an official prediction. I'm gonna say Brock Lesnar defeats Opa
You right, Mr. G.
I'm just guessing here.
I'm gonna go ahead and say you probably right. My prediction was more of what I want to happen, not necessarily what's going to happen. It makes sense for the storyline and for the pocketbooks. So I think Mr. G's right on this one.
Yeah, I think Brock gets the win, and I'm not gonna say it's gonna be a clean win though. I could see it being like some sort of shenanigans,
messy,
and like I don't know. He exposes the turnbuckle and it throws Oba into it, and it's just some little. I don't think it's gonna be a like WrestleMania, where it was pretty clean. Like, hey, Brock just got laid out.
Yeah.
By by Oba. I don't see that happening, but I see something happening where like Brock picks up the win, but you're like, oh man, what a win type of deal. You know what I mean? Setting up the trilogy at the show in Saudi Arabia, and that's where I think Brock or Oba will come back with a vengeance and just put Brock down. I'm not going to say for good because, as I laid out earlier, this is kind of how I see it. I see Oba eventually. See, one good thing about Oba losing too is it shows a little vulnerability, and gives you another layer to his character, like you were asking about with Cody Rhodes.
That's right.
And now you get to have a redemption story arc with this one.
Okay.
Where you can see him, he wants to, what I say, get his lick back, and at Saudi Arabia, that's where he goes and gets that crowning moment and go from there. And then I see Brock, get beat, and maybe he starts to question himself. And then over time, as we're getting, into SummerSlam season, maybe he goes, you know what, I want to try one more time. And now you have a good guy, Brock, walking back to his hometown of Minneapolis, Minnesota, taking on Gunther for the WWE Championship in what could be a retirement match potentially. Either Brock wins or he retires, and then of course Gunther goes and retires him, and that's the end of Brock Lesnar. But he gets to do it in front of his people. I think I'm just spitballing a long-term story arc.
Yeah, I mean, again, I see how you brought it back again to your idea in SummerSlam where Gunther's going to beat up Brock Lesnar in Minneapolis in front of his peoples. But you just get done telling me he lives in Canada now, so them and his peoples. Us Minnesotans are close to the border, but we are not necessarily Canadians, okay?
That's fair.
So you talk about Brock up there eat maple syrup. His former people, or where he went to my also alma mater, the University of Minnesota. Yeah. Twin Cities campus. In the city. In the city. Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay. All right. I think you're right. So
we'll see. I mean, I'm just spitballing on top of my head here.
It makes sense about the trilogy, though, and it makes sense that the third part of the trilogy would be at the Night of Champions in Saudi Arabia, where the king and queen of the ring is crowned.
So I'm glad you said that, because there's another way I could look at this match.
Well, we have a route B,
because you just reminded me. You're right. The King and Queen of the Ring tournament is going to occur, right?
Okay.
And the winner gets a shot at the championship at SummerSlam. So here's an alternate.
All right. Alternate theory. Let's go.
Oba absolutely smashes Brock Lesnar again.
That's right. Mama's right.
And then Oba versus Braun Breaker for the King of the Ring championship once they go through the bracket. Oba wins that matchup against Braun Breaker, and then he goes on to fight Roman Reigns for the World Heavyweight Championship at SummerSlam.
All right.
I can see that happening, and I can still see the Brock Lesnar story arc playing out on SmackDown with Gunther, because Brock Lesnar's Teflon. Whether he wins or loses doesn't really matter. If he comes out, shows up, and attacks Gunther, everybody's going to want to see that match.
Yes.
Everybody's going to be excited about it because he's Brock Lesnar.
That's
you know
right.
what I mean? Like at a certain point, like John Cena, right? People forget he lost to Dominic Mysterio twice in this career. You know what I mean? Like, followed by Gunther. Dominic Mysterio.
That's right.
You know,
Dirty Dom.
you know what I mean? So it's like, but at that point, they're so big, like, who cares? So I'm like, it doesn't matter whether Brock wins or loses at this point. The only reason why I'm saying the potential for there to be a trilogy is just because they want to drag it out, for that almighty dollar.
That's right.
But on the flip side, if the goal is to have the King of the Ring tournament going on at with the finals at Night of Champions, then I don't see how Oba's not in that tournament.
Agreed.
So just a thought.
Route B is interesting as well, Mr. G. Interesting as well.
Got my brain working here.
I see. Getting it in. All right. So what's the third?
So that was the third match.
That was the third. So now we're on the fourth.
Sol Ruca versus Becky Lynch. I'll let you go first.
Oh, you gonna let me go first on this one? Well, you know how I feel about Becky Lynch. For those who don't, she's annoying. So there's that. So Ruca, man, you know how I feel about her as well. Love her. However, it has been a rocky, very rocky start for this woman in the WWE main roster. She has not been able to get her soul snatcher snatched. Not one soul.
Except the referee, apparently. And that was oof.
So, I mean, I think the man wins, Becky Lynch. I think that this is Sol Ruca's like attempt at like kind of what you were saying earlier about JC Jane, like giving her a big match to like get her up there. So she's doing a champion. It's for the Intercontinental Championship, isn't it?
Yep.
So this is a championship. This is exactly what you were talking about earlier with JC Jane, is giving her off bat the championship reign or the fight to go for the belt, which is huge. So no, she's not going to win. So Ruca, no, Becky Lynch is going to retain, and that's going to be it. And there's going to be more of this story, or Sol Ruca's going to go start fighting somebody else. But I don't see Sol Ruca winning at all. Just being blunt. Love her, love you, girl, but we got to get them moves together if we're going to be out here trying to play in the big leagues. So you're out here in the big leagues now. Not that I can be up there doing a snow snatcher. Let's be honest, okay? Let's just keep it 100. I'm not naive. I can't be out here doing the flips, okay? However, as a fan and watching it, I think that she needs to make sure that her moves are down pat before she gets on the screen again, especially during a PLE like this. So I'm hoping she comes out the gate and she is good and she's been working her tail off, but we'll see. So, what do you think?
So, a couple things. It was interesting that Sol Ruca was not on Raw, and there were also reports out that she may have been injured at Saturday night's main event.
Wow.
On the flip side, they made this match. So, I don't know. I really don't know how to go, because I feel like if Sol Ruca is healthy, I know what I said about JC Jane, but I would like to make a clear distinction, though. When we're talking about JC Jane fighting Rhea Ripley, we're talking about the WWE Women's Championship.
The big one.
Sol Ruca is fighting Becky for the Intercontinental Champ, because again, it's a secondary title. And to be quite frank, while Becky Lynch, has been a great champion, she's bigger than that. She's ready for a bigger feud, if you will.
Okay.
She's big time Bex.
Okay.
And so
2 belts.
I don't know. This is tougher than I thought, because before I found out about the injury report, and like I said, and then we followed it up with Sol not even being on Raw, I was fully going to say that Sol Ruca was going to win this match, because I just felt like, why not give her the Intercontinental Championship run and see what happens. But this definitely has not been a good first month for Sol, and I'm a big fan of Sol, but that Sol missing on that Soul Snatcher.
0 souls have been snatched.
Then, like I said, the potential for her actually being injured, man, it's very hard. So, but it seems like the match is still going on. So I'm gonna stick with my original gut and say Sol Ruca wins this match. I'm gonna say that she's gonna be the new Women's Intercontinental Champion.
All right, so we do not agree on that one. So we'll see what happens. And maybe Sol Ruca does win, but she only wins by either shenanigans or somebody's assistance. Maxine Dupree comes out there, passes her some brass knuckles like Logan Paul. I'm just joking. No, that's not happening. But I just don't see it. But whatever. I mean, maybe it will happen. Again, it takes a lot for me to vote for Becky 2-time belts or whatever she calls herself. The man has come back around. She's so serious. So it's not just us saying it. Everyone else is saying it. That's her shtick. Right. So yeah, I think that Becky retains. Maybe that's one of the ones that is a retaining title on this card.
Okay, totally good.
Yeah.
Before we get to the main event, let's talk about my guy, Mr. Danhausen.
Let's all appreciate the "You Are Cursed" shirt, which is a a hard gem to find. You can't find this anymore. Yeah, let him know. Let him know. Yeah, that's right. You are cursed. That's right.
Absolutely. Do we see a Danhausen appearance on Clash in Italy?
Oh, bonus question. I mean, yes, because WWE is going to milk the shit out of Danhausen as much as they can. And he is hot right now. And they're pushing all these storylines about him uncursing the Knicks for them to win, right? Like the conference championship. So like okay, yeah, he'll be there in some capacity. I just hope he doesn't do any maybe this little clone thing that he's working on comes to life. You know, there's so many backstage shenanigans he can do without being like out there fighting, and that's what Danhausen does. So yeah, he'll be there. Of course, he gonna be there. What you think?
Did we get the reveal of his clone self?
Listen, it better not be another mini housing because we don't see that already twice. So he's gonna have to come out with something different. At first, it was hilarious. The second time, it was wild because there was a lot of them.
Yeah,
including a fat one, as you referenced last time that we talked about the mini housings. But I guess, yeah, maybe that's what happens. What do you think? Do you think that Danhausen is going to show up to Clash in Italy?
totally possible. But we also see him show up at these other events, but he may not necessarily be on camera.
Yeah.
So it could just be one of those deals where like he comes out on this little thing, does the little t-shirt toss thing, and there's that.
Yeah.
But as a fan housing here, as you see, I would love to see him make an appearance. But on the flip side, we see him enough on Raw and SmackDown too. So
yeah, we do. We do. We see enough of you, Danhausen. Again, remember my quote: 8 minutes cap. That's it. So his bits and his segments can't tap 8 minutes. Remember that, production.
absolutely.
Okay. All right. Main event time.
Main event time. We have Roman Reigns versus Jacob Fatu. The ones. Raise your ones in the air. Here we go.
But I love me some Jacob Fatu. So I've been like, ever since the first time he came out, when I first heard a song, I was like, what is this? He came out just wild, spitting when he talked. I'm all gas, no brakes with it. Not that I mean. He's wild. He's super entertaining and hilarious. So he's hilarious, but he doesn't mean to be hilarious, which is why he's hilarious to me. So I'm all about it. But I mean, what world would we live in that they're not going to let Roman Reigns be the tribal chief? Like, I just don't see why they would change the whole tribal chief thing to Jacob Fatu. So no, he's not going to win. It's going to be a great match, though. It's going to be a phenomenal match. And I'm very excited to see that. So yeah, that's what I think happens. I think Roman Reigns retains. Of course. What do you think?
Yeah, adding on to it, I mean, you said you're excited to see it. I mean, we actually saw it live last month at Backlash. When we went to the Backlash.
Yes.
Actually, it wasn't even last month. It was early this month. That's how long May is.
I know. Shout out to May.
Yeah, we went. Yeah, we were there at Backlash. Saw it live. It was great. Like she said, a great match.
It was great.
They just have that natural chemistry, and it should be another great one. I'm with you. I don't see Jacob beating Roman. It would be something.
Yeah, wouldn't it?
Be something. And you can never say never. I mean, Jey Uso won a Royal Rumble before, so you can never say never when it comes to these things. But in this point, I'm gonna say never. It won't happen.
No.
And something else that stuck out to me. Jacob said on Raw that no matter what happens, like he's gonna be good either way. So was that him already, like basically accepting defeat? Basically, he's gonna be, Roman Reigns' servant boy, but he still has a job because he says I'm gonna be straight because I'm gonna still have a job.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, that was interesting to me.
I mean, I don't see him going back to the servant boy, and I'm saying back to the servant boy because remember he was like, "I love you, Solo," when he first came out. He was like all of like Solo's tail.
Yeah, but remember Roman said on Raw, like, if you lose, you will acknowledge me and you will serve me.
Right.
He literally said that.
I'm just saying I can't see it, so he's gonna have to work with him on how the servitude is gonna happen, and maybe he just is a bodyguard.
Is there a work with it? I mean, he's literally telling him you're going to have to serve me and acknowledge me if you do not beat me.
Okay.
There's not really much Jacob could say. Jacob was agreeing to these terms.
I just want to see that. I'm interested to see how they're gonna put the werewolf down.
We'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see. I mean, yeah. They're literally recreating the bloodline. The difference is Jacob Fatu is basically going to be the Solo muscle, the muscle of the new bloodline. So
yeah, that's a good. That's valid.
But I'll say this.
But he talks because Solo didn't talk when he was in the bloodline,
and Jacob may not talk now.
Okay.
But I'll say this: while it does seem like a rerun of the Bloodline from the past, it also is different because you have different characters. Jey Uso's in a different place, Jimmy's in a different place, and
Yeah.
Jacob wasn't there at the time,
Right.
And I could see this actually working out for Jacob, where he's had two chances now to prove that he is actually a main event player,
Mm-hmm.
and it's gonna come a time when Roman Reigns is gonna go away again.
Yeah.
And then they're gonna need another star, somebody else that can go and potentially challenge Obafemi. So again, I'm over here long term.
Here we go with Plan A.
I think eventually, yes, Jacob's gonna break away from the group again, and he's gonna do his own thing, but he's gonna come out an even bigger star than he is right now, and he will be a legitimate challenger to whoever the champion is. And these two championship main events that he's got against Roman Reigns is going a long way to showing WWE like, hey, this guy could be a legit champion one day.
Yeah. Do you see Jacob Fatu in a long-term role in WWE? And do you think that he's one of these? Like, my point is, they always keep talking about Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker's the future. Braun Breaker's the future. Do you feel like Jacob Fatu is the future of the Samoan and Nahi? I can't say their last name. Family dynasty. Do you think, because is he the new young up and coming star? Because Roman is going to eventually get old and be done. So is there who else? Because The Rock was the guy, right? And then now Roman Reigns is like the guy. Who's like the guy for that family? Do we know him yet?
I think you're on to something. I think it could be Jacob.
Yeah.
Because I think Jimmy and Jay have kind of been defined like as to what they are. I mean, Jay's had a slight uptick in, status from where he was.
Yeah.
He was the World Heavyweight Champion for a little bit. You know what I mean? He won the Royal Rumble. So between those two, naturally, yes, Jay's a little higher than Jimmy. But I look at the rest of them. You have Solo, who's kind of just
Annoying.
been there. Now they do have another cousin that could be potentially making a debut and could have something to do with Sunday. His name is Zilla Fatu. Yeah, there's another one who could be making a debut on Sunday.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Maybe
I can throw a wrench in it. He's younger than all of them actually. So that's what the future could be.
Okay.
Could be that guy. I don't know. We'll see. Stay tuned.
I did say, have we seen him yet?
Yeah,
Because maybe the guy for that family we haven't seen yet.
totally possible.
Right.
But if we're just basing on people who are actually in WWE right now,
Right.
I think right now Roman is grooming Jacob to be the next guy. if
Yeah.
you will. So I can't see him as like the tribal chief per se. Like Jacob doesn't strike me as the tribal chief type of character, but I can definitely see him being that dominating Samoan type that could be a world heavyweight champion in the future. Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
For sure. I
We'll
agree.
see. We'll see. I mean, we know it's going to be a good matchup on Sunday, and we look forward to it.
That's right. Can't wait.
Anything else you want to touch on?
No, it was a good episode today. I appreciate your time and your thought, and it's good to see you really taking the reins here on these Plan A and Plan B conversations about what we think might happen. So it was enlightening. I appreciate your time.
Yeah, I appreciate you as well.
Okay.
So, let's tell the folks how they can find us, and also if they want to send in any emails.
Yes. So we can be contacted at FGWpodcast7@gmail.com. If you have any questions or have any suggestions or topics you'd like us to talk about on our podcast, let us know. You can follow along with us on Twitter at FGW Podcast 07. You can follow along on Instagram at FGW Podcast 07. And we are on YouTube. So like, subscribe, see this. If you're watching this video, you're probably watching it on YouTube. Like and subscribe to our page for more. We're available on Apple Podcasts and also on Spotify. So you can listen to us and see us quite a few different ways. So let us know what you want to talk about, and we'll talk about it on the FGW podcast. Thank you for tuning in.
Absolutely. That's a wrap. See ya.
See ya.
Together they are Fran G. Watch the belt tilt. We review the main event.
See how the feud is